Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the BT Confidential, episode 5, with your host Toby Miller,
Brett Eslinger.
All right, another crazy week. It literally feels like we started our podcast during the craziest time of like our whole entire lives.
It's perfect
insanity.
timing.
Yeah, like holy crap. And here we go. First thing, pretty crazy news. This happened just yesterday. But President Trump declares national emergency.
National emergency.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
National.
Two very big words.
Two very big words.
The action I am taking will open up access to up to $50 billion of...
50 billion.
Very importantly...
Not much.
We injected $4 trillion into the stock market.
Localities in our shared fight against this disease. In furtherance of the order emerging every state to set up emergency operation centers effective immediately. You're going to be hearing from some of the largest companies.
Yeah, this is just craziness. I love how he tries to underplay it, like, oh, those are such two big words. Like, come on, dude. Like,
we have this totally under control.
Like, and 50 billion is actually not that much money when, in the scheme of things here.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't seem like a lot at all to combat
Spread
this.
out to every single state. Like, that's 1 billion per state. That's not a lot of money.
And this whole speech he had was extremely strange. I was watching it live while watching the markets, and how they reacted was extremely strange. Before we get more into that, when he was rambling during this speech, he was talking about how there's going to be a website where you can go on and
get news.
No, it's like a place where you can type in, I have these symptoms. Should I go see a doctor type of thing? And it seems like, that's a really easy website for the get. And he kept bragging this is being made by Google. It's going to be made really quick, unlike all other websites. What is he talking about?
Doctors would be available for every American through Google.
Yeah, and he was literally saying Google was making this website. But in factuality...
Whoa!
Trump caught Google off guard with a bogus coronavirus site announcement.
We're making what?
So our president of the United States went up on stage and lied that Google is actually creating this website. It's like a subsidiary. It's like a off subsidiary of Google, of Alphabet. That's not even touched by Google. It's so weird, and he just doesn't understand.
It's becoming
what's happening.
more and more like China. Chinese control the Chinese
this is
market
so weird.
And the companies, and it's just
his whole speech, what it seems like is there's a national emergency, but also I'm gonna say all the names of all the really big companies so the algorithms on the stock exchange go fucking nuts and buy everything.
It'll be great. Save the economy.
Can you just do that?
Apparently.
It's craziness. You shouldn't just be able to Google, Facebook, Apple into the microphone until
literally tags. Google tags.
Yeah. Buy the stock now, 100 cows.
Bull market.
You can't just make the algorithms go crazy because Google okay. This is what happens when you talk about Google on your podcast.
Yeah.
This happened last time too, dude. What the hell? But anyway, talking about Trump's weird market fetish. Here he is parading around a bunch of CEOs.
I haven't seen this yet, so I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, he parades a bunch of CEOs around. It's hilarious.
If I could, some of these folks we know, they're celebrities in their own right. They're the biggest business people, the greatest retailers anywhere in the world, and one of them is Millen from Walmart, and I'd like to have Doug if you would say a few words.
Let's get all the billionaires up here.
Here's Doug from
When we
Walmart.
got the call yesterday from the White
Walmart?
House, we were eager to do our part to help serve
The people on this stage are worth more than 99% of America.
to make portions of our parking lot available.
Wow, we made portions of a parking lot. Dude, what is this shit? And then watch, there'll be more.
Right over here, and Richard, if you could come up.
Richard, come here.
Richard, next CEO, please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Walgreens.
Yes.
President, and
Walgreens.
similar to Doug and Walmart, we're happy to stand in here and help in communities all across America.
Ready for the
There's
next
a lot of
one?
times- Ready.
We have tons of supplies.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for inviting us here today, along with our colleagues from Walmart and Walgreens and our partners at CVS. Normally,
CVS.
you as
Oh.
competitors, but today we're focused on a
That's
common
right,
competitor,
Mike Pence,
and that's
yeah.
defeating
Yeah, dude, he literally just kept bringing them up. Watch, there's more.
in the near
Oh.
beverage environment.
How many did he bring up total?
Please.
Oh, please.
Like,
Mr. President,
like
as
10.
CEO of Becton Dickinson, we're one of
What is happening?
why are we bringing up CEOs? We
God.
just declared a national emergency.
This was a press conference to declare a national emergency, like something super serious is happening.
Like a fireside talk, like, we need to get serious.
yeah.
This is starting to become a major issue for our country.
No.
Now let's bring up Walmart's CEO
He's
so that
yeah.
he can
It's like a bunch
promote
of old
his
dudes
company.
coming out in like a bikini, like it's a bikini show, like striding up.
like-
Oh, here we got the CEO of Target and his lovely.
What happened when we had presidents that were like, this is the tone of this?
Yeah, and this is what needs to be done. Yeah, even if they were also doing shitty stuff with businesses and stuff, at least they could come out and make Americans feel safe.
Yeah.
Because if this makes you
This-
feel safe, you're a boomer. You're a fucking boomer who just is happy that your stocks went up on Friday.
My stocks are gonna be okay.
Because, like, this doesn't help America. Like, the only things that were kind of okay is, like, they're opening up drive-through testing way too late. And he's also saying that you should only get tested if you're showing symptoms, like, really late. No, it should be everyone's being tested if they even think they've been near someone who could have been sick. Because, like, this is the only way to stop it, because then those people can self-quarantine. Otherwise, they're going to think they're fine, and you have, like, 6 days incubation period.
But right now the tests are so expensive that
Yeah.
they're inaccessible to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, we got to privatize those tests so we can make some cash real quick off this
And-
pandemic.
The billionaires don't want to get tested because then if they test positive, it looks bad for their
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, it's actually so weird. Okay, watch this. As you can see, Trump was very happy with his little ploy here to walk out all the CEOs. And if you know what happened at the end of Market Friday, there was a huge rally
spike
where they rallied like 9%, literally the biggest rally of our market. So Trump obviously is super happy. Trump sends signed chart showing stock market gains to supporters after he declared coronavirus a national emergency. Literally, look at this.
Look at how amazing
he
our
did.
economy is. I am literally signing this
Wow. The Dow Jones.
10% increase.
Americans are so happy. The Dow Jones went up 9% today. Wow, thanks, President. Dude, it's so crazy that his whole entire presidency is wrapped up in the economy that
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just like,
If this fails,
I'm
I
gonna
fail.
sign this.
So I'm gonna prop this up as much as I can.
Dude, I can't, like,
It's maddening.
it's maddening. Like, people are gonna die. People are gonna be horribly sick. People's lives are gonna be ruined. People aren't gonna be able to pay for things. Their jobs. Literally, people are already losing jobs. People who work at arenas, like movie theaters, all these places where people gather. They're already being let
Airlines
go
are
right now.
letting people go. Norwegian Airlines is just dropping people.
And our president is literally just giggling to himself, right? Signing printouts of a goddamn chart
It's just
for the
fake.
stock market.
It's just fake money.
Does he not realize most Americans do not give a single shit about stocks?
Yeah. The
They have
average
zero
American
stocks.
has 0 stocks.
Because you know what? They're working every day. They can't afford to put money aside for stocks because they needed to pay for their car and their kids.
Like, maybe they have 401ks, but
Maybe.
yeah, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. you can afford that cut from your paycheck.
A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck.
When people hear that, like, you're going to take 6% of my paycheck so I can get a little bit of retirement, no,
I'd
need
rather
that money.
have that money now.
I need to, like, buy things. Like, a lot of people literally have nothing in the stock market, and then Trump's just like,
let's boost it.
It's actually infuriating. I can barely handle it. And then if we look at the actual numbers of the COVID-19 virus here, this is from Johns Hopkins, and it's just like a website that, holy shit, we jumped up just from this morning.
Oh, jeez.
We are very close to 150,000 total confirmed, and total deaths is 5,600.
I think some places are even saying that it's above 150,000.
Yeah. This Johns Hopkins number is not always very accurate, to be honest. But the CDC one's not accurate. It's like, how do you know?
Nobody knows.
The numbers, it's like for each community. Like, we know how many is in our community right now. It's like a couple. And it's very scary.
Yeah.
It was like just the past couple of days, we've got a couple in our community. We're both hoping to work from home next week. If not, like, that's fucked. Like,
please let us quarantine ourselves.
Yeah, because, like, we do not want to be
I don't want to be spreading this stuff around.
Yeah, it's really not worth it. And if you can work from home, literally do it.
Do it.
It doesn't matter. Oh, I'm healthy. I'm a young guy. I don't give a fuck. No, it's about other people.
Yeah, it's not all about you.
Yeah.
And how safe you are from this virus.
Yeah.
It's about the people around you that are still being fed this information. Oh, I could still go into work. It's fine.
Yeah, and they just have no idea what's going on. But as you can see in the U.S., like a week ago, we had like nothing here. There was like almost nothing on this graph. And now look at that. It's so crazy.
Big old red bubbles. And then Europe is totally screwed.
Mm-hmm. And people keep talking about like, oh, like China has become very like their cases have like dropped substantially. Of course, dude, they're actually trying. They're welding people into their buildings, like huge apartment complexes. All the sick people go in there and they weld the fucking door shut. It's communist China.
They can do whatever
they can want. Definitely, stabilize themselves and force people inside. So they don't give a fuck.
But in a free America, you're not going to force people to stay inside.
Yeah, and our president isn't even trying. He's not even saying, oh, yeah, most Americans should be staying home right now and working from home. No. He's literally saying, oh, if you don't have symptoms, don't worry about it.
I just made this for the money.
Yeah.
State of emergencies just so that we could get some more money out there.
It's sad. And then if we move to something a little bit more political, like Bernie Sanders, this is like only proving his point of why we needed Medicare for all and Social Security nets in place, because people are getting, like, Trump hasn't lifted his restrictions on food stamps or anything. They're still just as hard to get right now, so people will literally die when this hits. People are going to be off their companies, and they're not going to be able to get food, and they're going to have to self-quarantine, and they're going to die. It's crazy what Trump's allowing to happen right now. And people are like, oh, it's not Trump's fault. Yeah, of course the virus isn't, but how it's handled is his fault. It is 100% his fault how this is being handled.
He's spreading misinformation to people that need the information.
And he's the one who picks what government agencies get funded, and the CDC is not funded right now.
Before all of this happened, he took a bunch of money away from their funding.
Yeah,
and now he's giving it back like, oh, this is...
Yeah, talking about that, we have this article here. Trump budget chief holds firm on CDC cuts amid virus outbreak. Russ Vought, the acting director of the White House Office of Management and Budget, blah, 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 blah. It proposed cutting health and human services funding by $9.5 billion, including a 15% cut of $1.2 billion to the CDC and a $35 million decrease to the Infectious Disease Rapid Response Reserve Fund annual contribution. This is during this pandemic. They are staying firm to this. This is only what they're talking about in their 2021 budget. This is not even counting the cuts that have already been done to the CDC.
So they're going to continue to cut it.
Yes.
because they think this virus is just gonna go away.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about us or the safety of us. They're not investing in our health, not investing in our infrastructure, and it's disturbing and fucked up.
Yeah, they should be doing 100% more than they're doing right now.
It's fucking crazy. Anyway, here's Bernie's response. It's a little bit more uplifting than a Trump response, but if we're even gonna get Bernie's like a question now.
Vice President criticized the cost of Medicare for all, and now he's saying in the midst of this outbreak that the country needs to spend whatever it takes.
The answer is, not frustrating. I wouldn't use that word. What I would say is that right now, the absurdity and the dysfunctionality of the current healthcare system is becoming apparent to everybody. And maybe this is an issue that Joe Biden and I will be discussing on Sunday night.
I hope so.
But the idea that people are now saying, well, we should spend as much as it takes, when in fact, in normal times, we are spending twice as much per capita on healthcare as any other people, while the healthcare industry made $100 billion last year in profits, and the pharmaceutical industry makes huge profits as well. So as I said earlier, I think maybe for Mr. Biden, maybe for other people, this is the time to think about our current healthcare system, and how does it happen that after we spend so much, so many of us are uninsured or underinsured? Is the function of healthcare just to make huge profits for the insurance industry and the drug companies, or should it be to provide quality care to all? And it's not even just the uninsured and underinsured. It's parts of this country, as you all know, in rural America, where hospitals have shut down. What do you do when there's an emergency? You have no medical care near you. What do you do when there aren't enough doctors, or there aren't enough nurses? How does that happen? So I would hope that this crisis, maybe that's my main point today, that this crisis should be a moment in which people ask fundamental questions about the dysfunctionality of our current healthcare system, and have the guts to finally say to the healthcare industry, the drug companies, the insurance companies, and others, that the function of a rational healthcare system is to provide quality care to all, not to make billions in profits for the people who own the industry. Yeah, Carl?
Amen, dude.
It's time to wake up.
That's the truth. Honestly, Bernie puts it better than anyone ever could.
It's time to stop being played.
Yeah. All of a sudden, when there's a huge pandemic, everyone's all of a sudden, we need to spend whatever we can to get everyone healthy and insured. And like, yeah, now you realize this is why we needed it. So when this stuff happened, it would be, everyone would be safe and protected. Fine. It's the point of a society that the government protects us from these types of things. Why else do we pay taxes and give a shit about any of this if they're not there for us? Craziness.
And health being basically a human right, the government needs to intervene. It can't just be all privatized.
Yeah, and
because people can't afford some health care, like, at all.
And to go on this point, CNN is now saying that they are for pretty much single payer, which is just so fucking annoying after going after it for months and months and saying how it's not feasible.
And
yeah, now that it's a thing that everyone should have.
The South Korea, like European countries, that would lead to more testing, which would help public health officials get a better handle on containing the growing coronavirus outbreak.
Cool. Twitter videos work well.
Love Twitter.
Now, here's something that helps explain the difference between the testing situation in South Korea and the U.S. The South Korea, like European countries and Canada, has universal single-payer insurance, and that means
what?
To mobilize, and also people know what to do.
People can get tested.
One answer for how to get testing. The U.S. is a patchwork of countless different systems, and so you can't.
Wow! Shocker!
Shocker!
Maybe the solution all this time was something that was easy and simple.
Unified, not just a patchwork, as she described it.
It's crazy that like these CNN anchors and pundits can just be so fucking oblivious to how hypocritical they are. Like, come on, man. A woman. Like, what the fuck? can't you realize what you're saying is just like the opposite of what you were saying before? How it's not feasible, we can't pay for it, and like, oh, it's so infuriating. Like, these people need to, how can they have jobs working these places when their spines are like shriveled up little? They can't do anything, and
They're just told what to say.
It's so bad.
And they say it, and they get paid to do so.
It's so fucked, dude. Why do people watch it? Like,
well,
that's
there's
crazy.
A whole different conversation.
Like, oh my god. Picture, like, turning on these people and being like, they know what they're talking about after flip-flopping 100 times and backing random people who they just pick because they're like, they can win.
I'm gonna watch this every night because I know it's gonna be
these people don't have
the
beliefs.
Same people.
They just like, oh, which Democrat establishment person can win so I can keep my powerful paying job. And it's really annoying because what the fuck? What's the point of having these people when you can get good content from like Kyle Kalinske, Sam Cedar?
There's
like
a ton of
David
independent
Pagman,
people
who actually do good quality content and
unbiased in some cases.
Well, they're biased in that they tell you they're biased.
Yeah.
It's the worst when they pretend that they're unbiased, like on air. They pretend we're neutral.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing touches
CNN
us.
will always be for cable news network.
Oh yeah, we are just only about the news.
General news.
Yeah, not any bias at all.
No sides.
Bernie can't win. He's unelectable.
Except we should probably have single payer health care, right?
Yeah. Now that everyone's dying and I'm scared my parents are gonna die. It's like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
God damn these.
Maybe Bernie will shoot up in the polls.
Honestly, if we could see Sunday, because the one-on-one versus Joe Biden and Bernie, okay, they changed the format to a town hall so Biden doesn't have to get like demolished because he's like tired and old and shit, so he can sit down. But like, it's still gonna be one-on-one, and Bernie's gonna actually seem
intellectual.
Yeah, and like he can actually speak sentences. And Joe Biden's just gonna fumble and not be able to have a good response or answer to the pandemic like affecting us right now, because I assume that's what most of it's gonna be on. That's everyone's concern.
Everybody's freaking out about it.
There's not even gonna be a live audience. At
Pretty
the
much
debate.
our entire podcast has been about it. It's all over the news for the past week.
Well, yeah, and right now it's how all the politicians respond to something, an emergency, because it's now something that the public wants to know because we're living through one. It's a very genuine thing. Like, okay, now that we're actually, like, we need to start bringing up to light, like, how we handle emergency situations in our country, because we're handling it very poorly. This is just going to keep spreading. It's very bad.
And there are some things in place, but these things need to be enacted faster.
Yeah, and if the CDC was well funded, we would already have plans in place. Like, they would have rolled out testing centers like right away. They would have they would have these vans already made and ready. And
well, that's one thing that our Governor Cuomo has done correctly, is he's basically said, state of emergency, we need the money. And he got the money.
Yeah, because he was one of the first states. Well, yeah, I think them in California or something. And yeah, you got to make the steps. You actually got to start doing shit. But it would have helped if, like, because I assume the CDC does have these protocols, but if they have more funding, they would have more shit prepared. More people on the ground.
Stockpiles of
more CDC
inventory.
health centers around or something.
More people.
They could have done a lot more, and we're just crippling them, and it's so bad.
And we continue to cripple them year after year without making any changes to policy. So
here's a little talk about Biden and how he's probably not going to do very well in this debate. Just watch this. Joe Biden's doing a live stream here, and
oh Lord,
and he's having a bit of a hard time.
Legislation, which means that they can't build any factories or anything within 1 mile of the estuary of the Delaware River and the Atlantic Ocean and the Chesapeake.
Oh,
and so,
buddy,
where you going, Joe?
Buddy, you gotta
wait, Joe.
It's not a phone call.
I'd like to raise is that
hey, Joe.
we have to
Joe.
do this on an international basis as well, because right now, for example, we have a thing.
Okay,
Brazil
we'll just switch to him.
Trying to clear the Amazon.
He obviously doesn't understand.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to rag on him for being too much of a boomer. But
Yeah.
again, this dude, he's just, how can you feel confident in this guy running our country?
First of all,
when he doesn't like understand like to look at a camera.
And he's using the speakerphone to speak to somebody.
Like, I know this is nitpicky, and it's not policy based, but it's like this dude needs to run our country.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to understand like how to look into a camera and give like a speech or something, right? Like, I'm not crazy. People voted for Trump purely based off feelings. Like, I should be able to feel like this is not acceptable for president.
Yeah. A president should definitely know what the hell's happening.
Yeah. Like, that's not too much to ask for, right? Like, I also want him to have good policy, which Joe Biden does not. He has no policy except for I'm Joe Biden and I was
Trump bad.
Yeah, and Obama. I was Obama VP. Remember me? Funny
yeah.
Joe.
I'm just like Obama.
I got rid of all those immigrants and
I'm
bombed
Obama.
people. Pog
champion.
It's like, dude, what's so weird? Here's a fun story. My favorite guy, I know I fucking hate him, Matt Gaetz, voted against a Florida paid sick leave bill and takes paid leave from Congress anyway to self-quarantine himself. I think this is just so funny and hypocritical, and it proves the point of socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for the poor. Hey, poor people, if you're getting sick, work, get me my Amazon package, make me my food, do my shit.
But if you're rich, stay home.
Yeah, you get paid time leave.
You should probably just
Oh,
chill
yeah, do you want a couple weeks of paid time off leave for sickness? Oh, is your Matt
And if
Gaetz
it
tummy
gets
a little
worse,
poor?
it could be a couple months of free.
Yeah, like, dude, it's so annoying. Guess who gets all the major tax cuts in the country? The fucking rich. Who gets all the best benefits from literally all policies? The rich. And wow, who gets shafted? The poor and the working class and the middle class.
Every time.
Every time. And then they say, socialism, it can't be done, but can you please bail me out? Like $1 trillion?
$1 trillion for the banks, please.
Please. And they're like, yeah, here you go. No questions. Just
$400 billion to give everybody health care.
No. The banks need to be able to keep doing scummy shit and never be held accountable except like one dude who went in prison during the 2009 crash.
Yeah. One guy.
One dude. Even though you can like literally just watch The Big Short, dude. They fucking those mortgages were disgusting.
It was.
It's actually so bad. Jeez. Next. This is something that's been spreading around a lot, that Trump could have contracted the coronavirus from Bolsonaro, the worst fucking Brazil president ever.
Eduardo Bolsonaro, who is the son of the Brazilian president Jair Bolsonaro, that his father has tested negative for coronavirus. That was about an hour after Eduardo Bolsonaro had told Fox News his father, the president, had tested positive for coronavirus. So what's happening is he tested positive for coronavirus, and now they're saying he didn't because it looks bad when okay, if you don't know who Bolsonaro is, he's like this hardcore alt-right Brazil president who like wants to burn the Amazon, kill all the locals. He's a horrible person. If he
Trump's
dies,
best friend.
Yeah, if he dies from coronavirus, the world's a better place.
Yeah.
So if he has it, good. And it's so annoying that they're lying because like Trump was met with those Brazilian dudes recently.
Didn't he shake their hands?
Yeah, I think so. I think he shook their hands and was literally like this close in a picture with them. Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh no, I'm fine. I don't need to get tested." Yeah, watch this.
Mike Pence doesn't need to get tested either.
Watch this. This is he's literally trying to dodge these questions about getting tested.
Because the person you are standing next to, whether you know who he is or not, tested positive for coronavirus. Dr. Fauci said this morning, if you stand next to somebody who tested positive, you should self-isolate and get a test. You say your White House doctor is telling you something different. Who should Americans listen to? And my second question
I think they have to listen to their doctors.
What?
Jumping
That doesn't
to
answer the
test
question.
unless it's necessary, but I think they have to listen to their doctors. And I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen the picture. Somebody said there's a picture with somebody taking a picture with me, but I haven't seen it.
Doctors have
But
said
I-
You
don't
were
have it
there.
If you don't have symptoms, are you being selfish by not getting tested and potentially
Well, I didn't say I
exposing-
wasn't going to be tested.
Are you going to be?
Most likely, yeah, most
When do you
likely.
think
Not for
that'll
that
happen?
reason, but because
Not
I
for
think
that
they will
reason.
do it anyway.
Maybe.
Fairly soon, we're working on that. We're working out a schedule.
My second question,
Fairly
President,
soon.
I wanna-
Okay.
I might get tested and
The main thing that's
sometime.
happening is that Trump is terrified of getting tested because he knows that he's been around people who are tested positive and it's extremely infectious. And if he comes down with coronavirus, his presidency's shot. It could. I'm not trying to like over exaggerate, but he could die from this. He's an obese older man who
takes illicit substances.
He doesn't have good health. He doesn't have a good chance of like getting through this. He's not a healthy dude. Like this could be hell for him.
Yes.
And
seeing that in a president
the
trying
thing is-
to go through with it, like still trying to give addresses.
Yeah, and like touching
and dying.
people. I'm almost convinced that he's tested positive already. Because why else is he not parading
Why
around a
wouldn't he
negative
say,
result?
Yeah, I'm negative.
Here's this negative result, bitches. I'm healthy. I'm your god emperor. Like, why isn't he doing that? Why is he like, oh, we're thinking about a schedule? Like, he's like, shit, how am I gonna... I need to beat the coronavirus in private so no one knows I ever
I just
had
need
it.
more time.
Yeah, he just needs to, like... He's hoping he can overcome it in private, probably, so that, like...
Oh, yeah, the president just needs to self-quarantine for 14 days because he may have
been near someone.
Been near somebody.
Not
he's
that he's
definitely
sick.
not sick.
Not sick. President is not sick. Do not worry. Oh my god.
Jeez.
Check out the CNN live updates here.
Oh, this is always scary, dude.
It's always fun when we see stuff. Trump says he has taken coronavirus test.
What does it say?
Trump just announced at a press conference that he has taken a coronavirus.
They don't know the results yet. Usually takes 1 to 2 days.
It usually takes 1 to 2 days. Oh, so breaking news, guys. As we were just talking about Trump taking a coronavirus test, he's taking it.
It's gonna get... This video is gonna get uploaded, and then we'll know the results.
Yeah, so guys, if you're watching this, be on the lookout for the results. They're probably out today or the Monday, the next day.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is so interesting. I'm almost positive he's going to say he's negative no matter what.
He said his temperature was normal.
I like his hat, dude. USA.
USA.
We're using the full power of the federal government to defeat the virus.
USA.
Kennedy's, okay, a space
Typical.
senator's closing. Makes sense. Okay, journalist denied entry, having her fever. Makes sense. Yeah, I heard that Spanish government was expecting to
people
have
can't move anymore.
Like a full quarantine, kind of like Italy. Makes sense again.
And then this is scary for us.
New York looking to open another drive-through corona. That's good, I guess. This looks terrifying, this photo. What the hell? That's spooky as shit. A physician, okay, this is getting scary. A physician in the White House just took temperatures of everyone at the press area. They're getting really worried that Trump's gonna fucking, like,
Give it
down
to
with
everybody.
this. Switzerland bans public gatherings of over more than 100.
Oh, jeez.
Several medical sources disagree with,
Yeah.
They did that.
He said he's gonna do it.
Texas governor waives trucking regulations to help keep supplies stocked. That's nice. That's
Okay.
That's a pretty reasonable
Good
thing to
job,
do.
Governor.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, clean and replenish. That's
Okay, that's good.
News conference. Yep, that's probably where he announced that he's gonna get tests.
CDC says short school closures would have a minimum impact on spread. So
Hmm.
long school closures.
Yeah, long ones. Jeez. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff. Honestly.
Okay, wait.
First coronavirus-related death reported in New York. This is scary.
This is an 82-year-old woman, but still.
And she had emphysema, that's sad. It's honestly so sad the amount of older people we could
Yeah.
lose if they have underlying cases like this.
If you have an underlying case and you're old, this will
be a bad time for you.
not be good.
All right. Here's a post I wanted to show about supply shortages on Fox News.
But in terms of actual equipment, we heard Bernie Sanders today, for one, coming out and saying that there's a major shortage of ICU units. We've heard that there's a shortage of ventilators, even swabs, and equipment for the actual tests. What's being done about that, and how concerned are you that when these numbers do start to rise, which Dr. Fauci has told us to expect, that there'll be enough ICU units, enough ventilators to help the people who do get sick in this country?
Well, that's why we have an emergency prepared system. We're used to dealing with disasters. If we look at some of the disasters that have happened around hurricanes in Puerto Rico and Florida, there is a system in place to make sure that folks that are on the front lines have the equipment and the supplies that they need.
So are you saying that we do have enough?
One of the things that we're doing at CMS is to have rapid dialogue with healthcare providers. So we're meeting with providers almost on a daily basis to understand what challenges are they facing and what can we do at the government level to support them and help them. And that's why we've been putting out so much guidance. It's based on these dialogues that we've been having with the healthcare community about the needs that they have.
Yeah.
You're just spewing words.
Can I just ask you one more time? Will there be enough?
Sure that people understand, hey, before you go into your doctor's office, you can call your doctor on the phone and have a discussion with them.
Won't let her
They
answer.
can tell you whether you need to come in or not. And
they
that's
just
really
cut
important
just
because
to
we
her.
don't want to have people have to travel unnecessarily if they're not feeling well.
No, absolutely.
And if
Spew
they come into a
information.
healthcare facility,
She's
they
like-
could also be
she's
putting
like, "Can I
others
ask?"
at risk. And so we're encouraging people to call their doctor in advance.
Yes,
and we're making sure that providers can use telehealth and telemedicine.
Right.
She's getting so fed up. She's like, "Can I ask you the fucking question?"
Yeah, this is an interview, not you spewing at me.
Yeah, we get it. You're from the White House. You like to spew out information that makes you sound good.
To serve their patients.
We've made that point here quite a bit, and I think it's a very important point to make. But before I let you go, I want to ask you one more time. Are there going to be people in this country who don't get a ventilator if they need one? Are you concerned that the actual physical equipment that is needed to serve the people who will get sick is out there? Can you reassure everyone tonight that there is not a shortage of ventilators or ICU units?
And that's why the president has taken such a bold and decisive action.
Oh my
right?
God.
We're not waiting for this to get worse. We're not waiting for this to be a crisis.
How she squints her eyes at that answer. She's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I wanted a yes or no
It wasn't
answer.
that hard. I gave you an easy
And that's
hit.
why the White House is doing so much to... What?
I don't like Fox News, but I do like when they get very aggressive sometimes and they just keep pushing like this. Like,
give us...
answer the question. Answer the question. And they do honestly give Bernie more credit than like MSNBC sometimes. It's weird. Because they're at the beginning like, yeah, Bernie mom was talking about this. Like,
yeah.
And like they do give him credit like more often. Like Tucker Carlson will sometimes give him credit. And you're like, what the fuck, dude?
I think when it comes to coronavirus... everybody just comes together. Because you have to.
In our healthcare systems. And that's why the mitigation strategies that he announced last night, limiting travel from Europe, not allowing that. We've given travel advisories on cruise ships. That's why we're taking all of this action, because we don't want to put stress on the healthcare system.
Okay, that's not a direct answer to the question, but it sounds like a hope that there won't be enough sick people.
That's not a direct answer to the question, but
It's not an answer at all.
Here's a picture you guys have probably seen if you're on
gosh.
Reddit, and it's fucking triggering. Look at this shit.
Are you kidding me?
If you do this, honestly, go fall into like a pit of acid.
Like, what? What are you gonna do with that?
Dude, how much do you literally shit yourself that you need this much toilet paper? Like, homie, these are the people who are literally just selling it online, and it's fucked. Like, yeah, I understand if you want to get like a roll, like a pack or two, because you're like, what if I have to stay in for a month?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
but if you're
perfectly
gonna
reasonable.
profiteer off of this
is like
blatant,
literally just half a year of or more of tissues. Like, holy moly!
And it's not even like they have food too. It's just tissues.
Yeah. Something I've kind of been worried about recently is like the right they say that the Democrats are going to politicize it, and they're like, they're politicizing it to attack Trump. But I'm worried that people are going to politicize it in more of like a racy, like xenophobic way, like actually like keep every foreigner out. Like, you know, that like, and that's actually a very real thing that's going to happen. Like,
I could see it happen.
People are not going to want other people from other countries here. And
even though it's the situation here is worse than most other countries.
And on some level, during a pandemic, yeah, we should have a little bit tighter borders and stuff. I agree. But I'm getting really worried seeing this on Tucker Carlson, because that means, you know, people are starting to think about
in your
this
country
shit.
Is the most... Anyone who thinks this is the last global pandemic America will face lacks sufficient imagination. There's no question this will happen again. In a world connected by jet travel, that is guaranteed. So as we suffer through this virus, maybe we should learn something useful for the next time. Going forward, our leaders ought to be certain we have enough medicine and tests and hospital beds at
good
the
points.
least, in case something awful happens unexpectedly, because it will. There should be a plan to respond quickly in ways that assure the public that the people in charge know what they're doing. Those are the obvious lessons from the epidemic now in progress.
Yeah.
But there's more to learn. Here are a few
is
other
there?
things to think about. First, borders matter.
Borders
it turns out that
matter.
immigration isn't some boutique.
Yeah. It's pretty annoying when these fuckheads all of a sudden think we can make it about borders.
Political issue that only activists need to care about. The question of who lives in your country is the most basic issue that any nation faces ever.
So they're all of a sudden bringing it to who lives in your country is the most important thing that matters, instead of it all of a sudden being, it was literally people just traveling here.
Yeah. Traveling
now it's about
back from Italy.
Yeah, it's like people just doing shit that they normally do, like studying abroad. Now it's about, now we have to think about the people who live in your country. Can't have those brown people in your country. Like, dude, what the fuck?
If you're not a citizen, you don't belong here.
Like, I get it. We should be banning travel and that type of stuff. But, like, when you're like, all of a sudden your next step is, we need to be thinking about who's living in our country.
Who's already here?
Like, dude, what are you talking about? We be kicking out people? What?
Let's hunt them down.
Dude, if they're living in this country, they're living here.
Yeah. And they have a duty that somehow gets them through it and helps our economy.
It's so fucked. Here's a kind of a spooky graph. We'll kind of, actually first we'll talk. I'm gonna do that last actually. Here is a little bit of fun. Here's if you watch the Majority Report or the Michael Brooks show, you'll know Michael Brooks. Here's him reacting to hearing about Bolsonaro.
Oh, shit.
Right,
this is what someone was trying to tell me. Bolsonaro tested positive. I see it in a tweet from a verified account. It's translated.
I love his laugh so much. He's so evil sounding, dude.
What an evil person.
Dude, it's Bolsonaro, dude. He fucking burning the Amazon and killing the, like, indigenous people. He can die from this. Fuck off. He doesn't deserve. It's just so funny that, like, it's not funny that people are gonna die. I mean, it's funny that, like, at least there's a little bit of joy still.
You could still find the happiness and the badness.
Yeah.
If you look hard enough.
If you look hard enough. You can just be like, oh, at least this one bad guy's gonna die. He's not gonna. He's just sick. Here is a clip of AOC on Fox. I think it's a good one.
You know, the best healthcare system in the world, that's something that's up for debate. South Korea has up to 10,000 tests per day. They've been able to provide tests to any single person that wants it, and here people are scrambling, and it almost seems like the more wealthy and powerful you are, the more able you are to access a test. But the more the rougher a road you've got here, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to access healthcare. That's exactly the recipe for disaster in a pandemic.
Dr. Fauci.
It's 100% true.
Like, I can't stress it enough, guys. Like, we, as a country, are the reason this is not going to go well.
Yeah. And
we
the
voted
poor,
for this stuff, guys. Like,
the poor are going to suffer the most.
Yeah. always the downtrodden are gonna suffer the most in these type of situations. And it's sad because so many of these people vote against their own interests. They voted in Trump, and I'm not trying to blame the electorate, even though I kind of am, but it's just sad that we live in a time where people are so misinformed.
Yeah, they're uninformed. They have no idea what's going on in politics, and it's biting them in the ass.
Yeah, and then they just do stuff like this, and they vote based on like pure emotion, like Trump's crazy. I like that.
I like that he's not a politician.
Yeah, I like that he's gonna scalp us and whatever. Like, it's like,
okay,
dude. This is funny. Hillary Clinton, who used to call Medicare for All and single payer pony show, like, how are you gonna pay for that? Whoa, like it's like crazy ideas. Hillary Clinton tweeted on March 12th, I know this is all hard for you at Real Donald Trump, so let me spill it out. Free testing, free waivers, emergency sick leave, quarantine, cancellation, giving a damn. Oh,
sounds a lot like single payer healthcare.
Being able to pay for this stuff. These politicians
like
only talk out of their ass. They're like, oh, these will give me some social brownie points.
I'm gonna tweet it so that I can get some retweets and likes.
She's never gonna fight for it in real life. No. She's just like, I'm gonna do a social brownie tweet. Like, I'm gonna get some points. Like, ugh.
Then people will be on my side again.
Hillary, no one likes you. Didn't you learn that in 2016?
And then I'll have more power.
Like, my gosh. We're going to talk a little bit about stocks. I don't think we really need to that much because...
we'll just say that it's going poorly and the Fed is pumping it.
Yeah. If you want to look at the comparison, I thought it was an interesting chart between the 2008-2009 crisis and the one we're in right now. The 2020 crash or whatever we're going to call it. Who knows? Yeah, it's pretty scary. We got a very aggressive decline. But again, it's much more, our system was so propped up on all this repo we kept pushing in. And again, I'm going to talk out like about my crazy, like, the banks are collapsing conspiracy shit, but like,
put on your tinfoil hats.
Yeah, like, all foreign banks are going to fucking explode because of this, because I'll have all the debts allocated. Like, this stuff could actually have very bad implications.
You're not lying.
Yeah, and we did jump 9%. That's not on this graph. But, like, again, I'm very much expecting a very, very bloody Monday.
Yeah. You know why it jumped 9%?
Because of that pump we were talking about earlier when he was like, Google, Target,
CVS,
Walgreens. Like, it's so blatantly obvious that he's manipulating the market. Like, dude, imagine, like, he was 30 minutes late because he was calling his broker and he was like, yo, buy all the stocks right now. I'm about to make it fucking rip. Like, dude, it's obvious. We understand what you're doing.
Buy all the stocks now.
I'm literally about to get the dankest speech. And he goes up there and it rips like 9%. Like, no shit, dude. We see you. You're blatantly obvious and we're gonna fucking get rid of you.
You're
it's
cheating.
So annoying. I can barely handle him sometimes. Never handle him.
But he's a great businessman.
He's a great businessman. He knows how to lead us into the future.
Yeah, this is what our country needs right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else?
I'm good.
All right, guys. Make sure to check out the results of Trump's
test tomorrow or Monday,
because that's very interesting.
That'll be
Look
important.
out on that. Monday, expect a scary day, and everyone stay safe. Stay inside.
Yeah, stay inside if you can.
Have a good one, guys. Take it
See ya.
easy.
Bye.